What's up, what it do? And we back with another video. What's happening, everybody? Check this out. We got a video today I want y'all to watch, you know what I mean? The title was crazy, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Let me get my mic together, I bet. The title was crazy, I ain't gonna lie, man. Like, the title is named A Shot Off Finger and a Missing Police Officer. What in the yeah, right. Shot off finger and missing police officer. So we're finna see what happened in this video. All right, y'all. Let's sit back and let's watch it. See what's going on. Oh, wow.
Friends, hello to all. This is Andre, the Policeman Channel. Enjoy watching. Cleveland, Ag. On July 29, 23, two police officers on duty noticed a silver Infiniti with an illegible license plate. The officers signaled the driver to stop, and the car stopped. While the police were approaching, the driver and passenger got out of the car and started to walk away. One of the officers walked toward the driver in red shorts.
One thing you can say is they are definitely in the hood for sure. For sure. Man, I ain't gonna lie though, I do not miss those days. I kind of do miss those days. Bittersweet, you know what I mean? Because just life was a little bit more simpler than what it is now. I ain't gonna lie, but at the same time, like, it wasn't the best. Just knowing in the back of my mind when I was younger, I had a bigger vision for myself and higher expectations for myself. Yeah, it wasn't the best, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed every bit of it, for real.
The man ran, and both officers turned their attention to him. While one suspect was running from the officers, the other got into the car and drove onto Kings Road. The police pursued the man for 1 minute. Eventually, the driver of the Infiniti, noticing his accomplice, drove up to pick him up.
He didn't make it.
The suspect jumped into the back seat.
Yo. I can't talk too loud because, once again, it's early in the morning. My baby in there asleep, so I don't want to wake her up. But what in the yo? W-Mans. Yeah, that's all I gotta say. Even though he was wrong for what he did, you know what I mean? He shouldn't want to pick him up like that. But hey, W-Mans. I ain't gonna lie, that was crazy. And the police were holding on to that man's neck like that. That's
but his upper body remained outside.
Look at this.
The officer grabbed the man. The driver stepped on the gas and dragged the officer for approximately 10 feet. At the time of publication, the suspects had not been detained.
Yo.
The officer refused medical attention. Atlanta. On August 8, 23, at approximately 1:50 p.m., an off-duty police officer observed Maserati's vehicle with an illegible license plate. The officer asked the driver for identification to check against the database.
Ooh.
The officer found that the information on the identification did not match the information in the database. The officer asked the driver to get out of the car, but he attempted to drive away.
Yo, this is like a video I did before with a little young dude who did that. He tried to pull off where the car was in park, and he didn't make it far at all. Period, like at all. Now he's doing the same thing. It's like, dude, y'all ain't gonna get it. Y'all too, and y'all anxiety overcome y'all, and y'all can't think and react in a timely fashion, if that makes sense. Cause boy, you in a Maserati. If he would have got off and got that release, it would have been over. If he probably had a chance to get away in that Maserati. But he didn't have a chance because he didn't do it right. It seemed like he was trying to put the car in drive, but he couldn't. He tried and he couldn't. It jerked a little bit. Yeah, he got caught up in his feelings, man, in his mind. It mixed him up. So now he got to suffer.
Attempt was unsuccessful, and the man decided to run. The suspect was not able to run far and was quickly apprehended.
Dang,
During the search of the vehicle,
scammy.
the officer found 8 identification cards with different names and addresses, all of which had a photograph of the suspect. A handgun was also found, and it was determined that the vehicle had been stolen in Atlanta 2 months earlier. The driver was identified as Tarviante Smith, 28. He has been charged with carjacking. Detroit, Michigan.
Wow.
On June 30th, 22, at 11 a.m., a black Lexus pulls up to a house on Fergus Road. A man gets out, takes out an automatic weapon, and opens fire in the direction of the house.
What the world?
The man gets into the car and drives away, but 3 hours later, the black car pulls up to the house again.
Hey, that's a hurt baby daddy, a boyfriend of one. He gotta be hurt. Cause ain't no way in the hell you sit back and do some. You go over there, do some shit, and then go back 3 hours later, and then be on some. Yeah, he hurt. That man is hurt for sure. And you don't want to deal with them type of people that's hurt, and that's I want you to feel their pain. I'm telling you, hurt people hurt people. Always remember that. You know what I mean? I always heard that. Hurt people. So, you know what I mean? Just know that. Know who you keep in company. Cause look at this crazy.
The man opens fire in the direction of the house again, but this time the owner of the house fought back. He went to the front door and started shooting back. Bullets are visible hitting the gunman's car. There were 5 adults and 3 children in the house at the time. The 40-year-old man who opened fire back was wounded in the finger. Police
See that right there? I ain't gonna lie. See, cause like I ain't gonna lie. Man, it just how I react to certain things. I'm so like when my adrenaline rushing, I immediately go into engage. Like no lie, I've done this before, maybe 2 or 3 times where I had a situation where I had to like either fight or flight, and I didn't flight. Now one time I stood and I took care. I stood there. You know what I mean? And a simple fact of because like I don't know. I can't retreat like that when somebody at me like that. It's just kind of hard to retreat, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, I got to stand my ground, and like my body, my mind will not allow me to. Like once it's in the heat in the moment, like it won't allow me to. And that's good. And sometimes it's good, and sometimes it's not. You know what I mean? Because you can stick around it and get stuck around. You know what I mean? So I try to always, you know what I mean, think about that. But in this case right here, if my kids in the house and my family in the house with me, somebody shooting my house, the first thing I'm going to is that back door. I swear to God, I'm gonna tell everybody to get down there, and I'm going to that back door. I'm coming out that house for sure. I'm coming out that house, you know what I mean? Or I'm gonna be in one room. You think I'm in one room? I'm in a whole nother room. I'm talking about, hey, and I'm aiming to take that memory card off your head, off your shoulder. You know what I mean? For sure. In GTA. But yeah, this is crazy though, man. He brave, he bold as hell for that. Run up on the people's yard like that, shooting like that.
Police began searching for the shooter, and that same evening, following a tip from local residents, they determined the area where he might be located. A police helicopter and ground crews were dispatched to the scene. The helicopter pilot noticed a figure of a man with a weapon in the bushes. Apparently, the suspect saw the police and hid in the hope that he would not be found.
Nigga got his heat and everything.
When the police got very close, the suspect ran.
Look at that, ain't
The
shoot
man was
him.
not able to run far. The police reported that the detainee is 29 years old, but did not publish his information, since new circumstances of the incident were revealed.
The boy just like a
the next day
basketball
after the
player.
arrest, the police reported that a car and a gun registered to a former Detroit police officer were seized from the suspect. 41-year-old retired officer Stefan Hoda served in the police from 2005 to 2013. The police were unable to establish his whereabouts and were concerned about this. During the further investigation, eyewitnesses were found who reported that they witnessed a recent quarrel and struggle between Hoda and the detained man. A few days later, the police found Stefan Hoda's body in a city park.
Oh, wow.
At the time of publication of the news, no charges were reported against the detained man, but the information received indicated his possible involvement in the murder of Goa. Memphis, Tennessee.
Dang.
On June 24, 2023, a deputy following a vehicle signals the driver to stop. When the vehicle stops, the officer approaches the driver and asks him to exit the vehicle. The man, identified as Jarvian Hutspeth, 21, exits the vehicle and states that he has a firearm in the vehicle. The officer pats the man down and tells him to get into the patrol vehicle, but Hutspeth does not comply. He approaches his vehicle and climbs into the driver's seat.
He about to run.
The officer grabs the steering wheel. As the vehicle begins to move, the officer...
Why the officer try to pivot his leg on the door like that's supposed to stop it or something? Like the officer pivot his leg on the door to try to that's a Mustang. They're gonna take him. It's like a GT too. That thing gonna take you right with you. See how he hopped in there with him. But then also that's a bad situation with the old boy that you know what I mean drove off in that car. Two things: he can wreck his car, and then also he's going to jail. You know what I mean? For multiple charges for doing that. So he in a lose-lose situation right now for sure.
Jumps in. The man places one foot on the gas pedal and the other attempts to push the officer out of the vehicle.
That's crazy.
At that point, the deputy draws his pistol
Straight
and fires
surfboard.
one shot. The officer falls to the ground. The vehicle and the deputy travel 90 meters, 300 feet, and Hutspeth is injured. After traveling another 0.5 miles,
He
800
wrecked.
meters, he loses control and crashes into a parked vehicle. The officer lay in the road for several minutes before a woman spotted him and called 911. Hutspeth died from his wound. The deputy was taken to the hospital with serious injuries.
Yo.
An attorney representing Hutspeth's family released a statement calling the officer's actions reckless. Sheriff Floyd Bonner called the attorney's statement a cheap political stunt. At the time of publication, it remains unclear what prompted the stop of Hutspeth's vehicle. The officer cannot recall the reason for the stop as he is recovering from his injuries. The investigation into the incident is ongoing.
Whoa. All right, there we go. So that was an interesting one right there. Like they didn't know if he was built. Don't they got cams, like body cams and stuff on them? Unless they be cutting them off and cutting them on, you know what I mean, at certain times or whatever. But they should have caught that and knew what was going on. Now if you wrongly pulled that man over, the department is in trouble. But from the looks of it, it looked like the officer wasn't doing nothing but doing his job. You know what I mean? Trying to perform a traffic stop, and dude wasn't going. So he pulled off with the officer, because he didn't have to pull off. Honestly, he didn't have to pull off because he pulled over. If anything, you should just kept on going and have him chase you. So that's how I look at that. But that was crazy. That was a crazy video. All right, let's see what else they got, y'all.
Friends, on Boost I regularly publish exclusive releases that are not limited by YouTube rules. For a nominal fee, you can subscribe and support my work. And that's all for today. Good luck to everyone.
All right, so that's the end of that. So that's the end of that video, man. That was crazy. I guess that was a compilation of different situations or different scenarios. So that was pretty dope. All of them was crazy, but the one with the dude who shot that house up, and then before he did that, he out somebody else. Yeah, he went in to play with it at the same time. Boy, don't come to my house like that. Look how crazy you is. Playing on mine, I can get even crazier about mine for sure. But yeah, y'all, thank y'all for watching the video. Some short, some quick. You know, I probably drop this. You know what I mean, real soon, real quick. I might make this a 2-video thing right here. Why not? But yeah, I mean a 2-video day today. Who knows? But yeah, I thank y'all for watching the video. Some quick, some real good. Like I said, caught my eye. Anything catch my eye, I don't care if it's 2 minutes long. I'm watching it with y'all. You feel me? I'm watching it. That's how much y'all mean to me. You know what I mean? I care about y'all, man, and what y'all looking at. You know what I mean? Because it's a lot of things out here that we're looking at that we shouldn't be looking at, and with no meaning to it. So I try to bring things that has meaning to it, you know, and strike conversation. So yeah, thank y'all for watching. Let's keep running it up. Let's keep going. And until next time, in between time. This has been a presentation of Dave's channel 444. Peace.